Introducing Passport Bros, your ultimate travel companion. Download the app for free and embark on a journey where your adventures not only become unforgettable memories, but also opportunities to earn. With Passport Bros, your travel content is more than just photos and videos. It's your ticket to a fully monetizable network of like-minded adventurers. Imagine making money from your travel stories. Post videos, share your experiences, and let the world be a part of your journey. But that's not all. Connect with travelers from around the globe, join co-ed groups, and make lasting friendships, perhaps even with foreign women who share your passion for exploration. And here's the best part. Store your earnings securely in your Passport Bros wallet. No hassle, no worries. Just seamless transactions wherever your travels take you. Looking for the best local experiences? Passport Bros has got you covered. Get personalized recommendations for tour guides, rentals, and the hottest clubs in town. Did we mention the app is absolutely free to download? That's right. Your passport to a world of adventure is just a click away. And here's the cherry on top. With Passport Bros, you can make money while exploring new places. Turn your passion for travel into a source of income, right from your mobile device. So, what are you waiting for? Download Passport Bros now, share your journey, connect with fellow explorers, and let the adventure begin.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.
All right, family, we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. It's your man B&T and my good friend here, return guest, my man Flight Matt is in the building as well. What's going on, Flight?
Hey man, just enjoying a good night over here in China, man. Just having fun.
Man, you out there over there colonizing China, my brother?
I mean, you can say that, man. You can say that. I've been out here for a while, man. A lot of stuff has happened.
I know it's like late as hell out there too.
That's all right. It's only like 2 a.m. I'm a night owl. Like, my sleep schedule's been messed up lately. I don't know what's going on. Like, I go to sleep, then I wake up a few hours later, and I can't get back to sleep. So then I stay up, and then I sleep the whole afternoon. I don't know what's going on.
Right, exactly. I know. I don't think my sleep has ever really adjusted back from Asia, to be honest with you. You know, I have to force myself to go sleep sometimes just so I can get up early and hit the gym. But that big 11, 10, 12-hour time difference, I don't know, it might take years to get back to the same. So you've been out the country you've been out the States for so long, you go back to America, man, your sleep going to be all off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I saw one post by a guy. He was talking about how he's been working for 40 years doing like 12-hour shifts. And like, even after he's retired after 2 years, his sleep schedule is still messed up. So it seems like, for some people, if you've been doing it for so long, it's hard to change back to normal.
Man, I remember when I left from Bangkok to Medellin, hell of a flight. I'd never suggest anybody do that. Do not take that flight, bro. There's too many connecting dots and everything like that going through Japan. But I remember, like, I was an insomniac for at least about a month. I could not sleep at all, at all. But we got a good topic today, man. This. I know colonizer is somewhat of a strong term, even though that's kind of what happened in the last couple hundred years. This is why we spread all over the place and everything like that. This is why we pretty much abide by Euro infrastructure, Euro laws, because of colonization. But we're going to talk about this because there have been content creators that have mentioned this in concerns of the Passport Bros. So we're going to discuss it, man. This is, we discuss everything here. We discuss everything here in concerns of anything related to travel or the Passport Bros. I want to welcome everybody in the room. I got my man Jay Clyde in the building. What up, Jay Clyde? Got my man Ozzy in the building. Marie says free floor. Yeah, man, free everybody. Free everybody that's locked down in this Euro culture system. So we got some good stuff today. What we're going to do, man, we're going to do like a live review of a content creator that made this video. I'm not even really familiar with the content creators content too much. You know, it's a lot of clickbait-ish content in concerns of the Passport Bros on YouTube. That's probably why it stands so big and so strong, like why the term is just kind of now has pretty much cemented in the mindplex of American society, really all over the world. It's probably one of the most famous terms right now in the last 5 years. It's going to be Passport Bros. People have heard of Passport Bros from here. I would say here to Hong Kong. Have anybody mentioned Passport Bros to you at all out there in China?
In China, let me see. I'm not out in the streets like I used to be, so maybe I'm missing out. But definitely, the younger generation here, they definitely know a lot of stuff. So they mentioned it to me in Kazakhstan when I was doing the interview with the guy in Kazakhstan. They had some kind of YouTube channel, and he brought up Passport Bros, and I was gonna mention that I knew you, but it didn't come up. And yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy. You wouldn't think. Hey, I haven't mentioned it. It's mentioned a lot in Colombia. Trust me, everybody knows about Passport Bros in Colombia. Not so much maybe the DR. The DR is kind of all over the place. Definitely in Thailand, they mentioned it. Definitely in the Philippines. I think the biggest, heaviest area where Passport Bros, and just the term in itself is pretty heavy, probably going to be in the Philippines. You know, I mean, we've been all on the news in the Philippines and everything. I think somewhat in Thailand too. So it's funny because Passport Bros has a positive connotation in Southeast Asia in concerns of the Philippines, Thailand, and everything. Here in the DR, I would say it's not really just known terminology like that for the most part, especially amongst Dominicans, but definitely in like Colombia. Maybe I'm not sure about Brazil like that. I think Brazil is just so huge and massive. They just got their own vibe going on. But interesting enough, I have seen Passport Bros content or them discussing Passport Bros in Africa. As a matter of fact, we even got like an African content creator that constantly disses the Passport Bros, which is strange to me because I'm like, I don't know if Passport Bros have really just set out to really go to Africa. You know, so it's
Yeah, surprising.
Because it's like a channel called Keep Africa Passport Bros free and all that. And I'm like, you need to keep Africa European colonization free, my brother. They over there snatching the resources right up underneath y'all feet. Like y'all got other things to be worried about than the Passport Bros over there in Africa. So yeah, man. Somebody said Drew Passport Bros is not colonized. No one's definitely colonized. All right, so let's go ahead and get right to the video, man.
He showed you a big booty.
Hold on. Let me start this over from the beginning. All right. Shout out to Mentuition. I think their channel got either demonetized or banned, but they was kind of going hard on. And I don't think the Mentuition channel even really claims anything about the Passport Bros or anything like that. I think they're doing their own thing. They're supposed to, I guess, be mentoring men in concerns of travel. But when I saw that content, you can see from the clip, I'll play a little bit of the clip real quick.
Your boy came back, he showed you a big booty. Damn! You saw another big booty?
Step one, get a passport.
All right, so that's, I knew that they were going to get their channel banned and demonetized by the content that they was making. Luckily, it wasn't anything, in relation to Passport Bros content, but I just saw how they was moving. I'm like, man, you can't really promote ex-tourism to another country on YouTube, right? Like I thought it would be common sense. And I was even on panels with the Mentuition guys at certain times, but I was always just like, yeah, it's just a matter of time before they catch up to your channel because they went up fast. But when your content is primarily teaching guys how to, when you're promoting activities of the night on YouTube, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter. I mean, they literally had a video said to like sex guide to Medellin or some shit like, like, I'm like, bro, come on, bro, like think for a second. I know you want the views, I know you want the subscribers, but come on, man, it's still YouTube. YouTube, you have to look at YouTube kind of like ABC, NBC, CBC, CBS, Fox type. Like it's a broad platform for everybody, even though it's supposed to be 18 and over and all that good stuff. It's still a pretty broad platform. T-Mac says, Colombia says gentrification, not colonization. I have seen some of the signs out there in Colombia. Colombia, man, Medellin changed so drastically from when I was out there to the second time I returned out there. Everything was so much different. Now, granted, I was in Medellin during the COVID. I shouldn't say the word. During the beer bug, I was in Medellin. And everything was relatively cheap, food, housing costs, real dope. And when I returned back, I saw like just this rise in prices, like almost double to triple the prices at some of the apartments. Even the apartment that I rented, it had almost double. I think I was paying like $600 a month. And even my girlfriend at the time was saying, "Oh, that's way too much money. And just tax you because you're a gringo." Now that same apartment is like $1,200. So in just in 2.5, 3 years, it went from $600, which is a gringo tax, to being almost $1,200. All right. So let me play a little bit. We play a little bit of this video. I'm never play the whole thing, but we're just going to see what the content creator has to say. I want to give a shout out to my man, the Black Cleaner, Restore with the $5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, colonizers set up shop and extract resources. We don't colonize, we blend in. We are consumers, which adds to the economy. Good point. Good point. Now let's continue.
I had a local Filipinos in the movie.
Brother, this guy stinks!
People in the K-pop community who are just poorly disguised Asian/Korean fetishizers piss me off.
You saw another big booty.
The rise of the red pill has also led to the rise of an even more degenerate demographic, passport bros. According to the prestigious Urban Dictionary, passport bros are men who have chosen to seek out foreign women from other countries for relationships and sex. They believe that Western women have been influenced by cultural and societal pressures such as feminism to behave in a certain way. In summary, they're incels with money that take advantage of women in poverty.
How the hell did he come up with that assumption? You gotta catch it real quick, Danny. He said passport bros are incels with money. Like, come on, man.
His voice is like really funny to me. Like, it seems like he's trying to do that really like that fake cool guy voice. It's like really deep. It sounds like he's kind of like trying to imitate, like, trying to make himself like, sound more like cool and masculine with the way his voice is.
Right. And it's funny, man, because I look at it just as far as when people make hit pieces and don't show their faces. I mean, that's okay and everything, but I just be like, man, that's kind of like, I don't know, just as a man, like, I get it, you have a faceless channel, but to say certain things and just kind of like hide your hand, I just think it's kind of cowardly. Just starting off, really, you're gonna be a man, just say what you mean what you say type shit. It's just 2024 though, so.
Legit, I'm not white knighting. This video is literally called 10 Asian countries with desperate women looking for men.
It didn't say anything about passport bro in the title. That's just a random video he chose on YouTube.
Like, come on, man. Despite the constant coping about being traditional and disliking Western women, the backbone of sex tourism relies on power imbalances. While it is true that non-Western countries tend to be more traditional and religious, these women aren't going for these men because they are strong, handsome, traditional, God-fearing men. They go for these men because the reality of staying in poverty is worse than marrying a desperate man.
I want to make a comment about that. And they always, they're going to pull up the 90-day fiance. They always find like extreme situations, especially in the media. They find like, look at this guy. Come on, man. We already know. First of all, this is not a passport, bro. And he, of course, ignores the guys overseas that are actually in genuine relationships. It's funny, man, because people that don't travel assume that anything outside of America, France, Italy, and just Europe in general, everybody's poor. The whole country's poor. So if you're an American, you're going out there, you're taking advantage of the populace. Now, we know that in these countries, people have money.
Yeah. Like, someone asked me the other day, like, hey, does China have rich people? And I'm like, bro, like, China's like, tons of rich people. Like, they're having economic problems now, but they're still like super crazy rich people here in China.
Somebody that's No Neck Ned from 90. I didn't know his name was No Neck Ned. Ned, that's crazy. That's his real name. You know what I found out? I saw this. I don't know if you saw it in the app, but I shared like this this post of populations that didn't have the internet, and I was shocked that it was like a percentage of people in China that didn't actually have access to the internet. I was like, what? You know,
They must be out there in the farm or something, because here in the big city,
like 30% or something like that. It was high.
It must be farmers, man. I don't know. Like even old ladies have like the WeChat app. That's like the messaging app over here, like WeChat. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
I'm gonna look that post up. Let me continue playing the video. Fair use, family, fair use. Let me put my fair use tag on here.
Reality shows like 90 Day Fiancé tend to highlight how women and their families that live in poverty tend to see Western men as their way out. Although it's consensual, it's more of a transaction between two parties rather than a relationship. And so
It just still bothers me. I'm gonna stop pausing. I know y'all guys like stop pausing the video, but it just bothers me when people have this Disney World, this Disney World view of relationships. In the real world, like we stuck on high school and college relationships for whatever reason. To me, all relationships are some form of transaction or value based, basically. Right? Especially between men and women. Especially after like 23, 24, 25. Women generally get in relationships with men they see a future with. Men that in the West, they can almost get resources directly from you through the government. Like, it's all types of ways, but in general, this whole Disney World view of relationships, especially outside of America, is even more on the extreme. Like, you got people in the Middle East, bro. Literally, in the Middle East, you got like countries like Saudi Arabia and Pakistan that they want to keep the wealth within their family so bad they marry their first and second cousins by like 60-something%. So most of the people you see in these countries are getting married within their own family. Close relatives, they're married. All because a lot of these families have some form of wealth. They want to keep the wealth within that family. So isn't that some form of a transactional relationship? Like, get real. Please get real, especially as a man over 25. Like, get real, bro. High school and college, that little genuine puppy love relationship doesn't last forever. Anybody that's been dating that's over in their 30s knows this. Women marry for different reasons than men. Men generally like to be in love with the woman that they marry. Women marry you for totally polar opposite reasons. And a lot of these idiots don't find out until late in the marriage when they get ran through a divorce court. All right, let me stop talking the video. Let me play the video.
Since a majority of my viewer base are men, I'll put it in male terms. If a rich woman you weren't attracted to offered you her home and tells you that you don't have to pay for anything if you cook and clean, would you take it? Most people would say that's an easy yes. However, these passport bros aren't noble traditional men looking for their soulmates, and the outcomes aren't always perfect. A lot of passport bro content relies on the sexualization of foreign women and their buying of sex workers. This in turn directly funds sex trafficking operations and leads to the abuse of these women.
False. Listen, man, ex-tourism has been going on since I don't know how long. That's been a thing for a very long time. All right, the passport bro phrase was coined by yours truly like in 2021. You know what I'm saying? So that's been going on a long time. Men do it, women do it. People come from Western countries and they go down to countries that have a poor GDP and they kind of do their thing. That's been going on for a long time. That didn't start with the passport bros. It's not funded, funneled, or promoted by the passport bros. It's going to be there after the so-called passport bros. What up, Ronan?
Crimes against sex workers often get swept under the rug or not punished, especially in third world countries. Flying out to a country to have sex with and prey on impoverished women isn't the quirky, adventurous journey that these passport bros make it out to be. As a kid growing up with 2000s media, I noticed that a lot of media at the time tended to fetishize Asian women. Asian women tended to wear skimpy clothing at best and were characterized as promiscuous sexual objects for the main characters. Now, as a young adult, I see that it's not just in the media. A lot of sex tourism preys on Asian women due to their stereotypes of submissiveness and sexuality. Age of consent and marriage laws also make these places haven for pedophiles. And on the topic of historical sex tourism and sexualization of women, Anne McClintock, author of Imperial Leather, wrote, "For centuries the uncertain continents, Africa, the Americas, Asia, were figured into European lore as libidinously eroticized. Travelers' tales abounded with versions of the monstrous sexuality of far-off lands, where, as legend had it, men sported gigantic penises."
Man, bro is going back. He's going back like centuries right now. He's really reaching. He really, really reaching, bro. He's reaching.
Easier, more submissive, or having certain sexualized attributes like bigger breasts and butts. Although they're memes, the concept of big booty Latina and weeaboos seeking out a submissive Asian housewife are pervasive in online cultures and in sex tourism. Women of color are often seen as more sexual and deviant than white women or women of their own race to these men. The rise of Mia Khalifa is a prime example of how modesty and exoticness play a huge part in male arousal. Feminist author Angela Davis also wrote about the sexualization of black women during slavery and how racists sexualized them in order to rationalize their rapes and mistreatment. However, this wasn't.
This dude is all over the place trying to prove a point. Now we went back into slavery and everything. Let me skip through this bullshit. Hold on. Yeah, he went through Sarah Bartman. All right, let me cue this up right here. Hold on. All right, here we go. Let's skip right after Sarah Bartman.
2002 that France finally accepted the numerous requests to have her remove imperialism. Instead, it continued under imperialism.
But now, we must talk about this baby.
There's nothing to talk about. See, I'm leaving. I'm gonna forget about you and your horrible, sweaty little piece of shit country. Get the fuck out of here.
Soldiers.
Now, hold on. Let me ask you this. Come on now. Are Passportbros doing that? Are we really doing that? He just put the random movie in a random clip.
I've never seen it before. I've never seen it.
Committing sex crimes during war isn't a new topic, but in order to relate it to something relatively recent, we can look at the military. During and following the Korean War, the United States military actually allowed prostitution in South Korean military camp towns. Despite prostitution being illegal since 1948 in Korea, women in South Korea were the fundamental source of sexual services for the US military and a component of Korean-American relations. When the United States occupied the Philippines for almost 50 years, a similar dynamic was in place. This, along with colonialism and colorism, led to the stereotype of white military men dating Southeast Asian women. Even during World War II, Japanese forces would take foreign women hostage and force them to become sex workers in order to please their troops. These women were referred to as comfort women. This was obviously a better title than the truthful label of wartime sex slave. Even after these troops and colonists left, the hierarchy and sexual dynamics remained. This is why we see internalized colorism and white worship in third world countries. Girls are told that if they can secure an American, they will be treated well and have more money. Much like American chattel slavery, the same soldiers that came to these places to conquer and see these people as inferior or the enemy ended up having sex with them and even seeking marriage after exploiting their countries and resources. Female sex tourism often also intersects with media and stereotypes that fetish.
So I still don't understand. He's all over the place, man. So it looked like he just did a clickbait type of title. He went from slavery. Now he's talking about female sex tourism. He's all over the place. I think, like I said, Passportbros are a victim of the popularity of the term. Because none of this stuff has anything to do with Passportbros. He's using clips where guys are running off on women in the future, the space and stuff, trying to make it seem like it's some Passportbros stuff, man. Crazy. I'll play a little bit more of the video, man. We're going to go ahead and stop this crap. Hold on.
As foreign men. notably exemplified by works like 365 Days and the Italian-American mob boss or Fabio stereotype. There's also been a rise of fetishization of South Korean men in the form of K-pop idol worship, but we'll save that for the end. In 365 Days, the character of Massimo embodies the archetype of the exotic dominant lover, drawing parallels to the fetishization of black men as hypermasculine and sexually aggressive figures. This portrayal often perpetuates harmful stereotypes and reinforces narratives of the exotic other, depicting foreign and black men as inherently more passionate and virile. Similarly, the Italian-American Fabio stereotype of a muscular, exotic, tanned foreign man contributes to the fetishization of masculinity and otherness in popular culture, catering to fantasies of romance and adventure. And going back to the thread of foreign men being seen as more aggressive and sexually capable, the fetishization of black men in media also reflects broader cultural narratives of desire and power, often rooted in colonial and racist ideologies. Women who travel to countries with predominantly black populations may be drawn to these narratives, seeking out experiences that fulfill fantasies of forbidden desire and cultural otherness. Stereotypes such as black men having longer, being more dominant than white men in other races, along with the racist ideology that every black man is trying to have sex with your wife, and these elements lead to the fetishization of men of color, or men that may not be from Western powers. Especially for people like K-pop stars, which I won't speak too much. I don't want to get doxxed.
Nah, he's just all over the place, man. I'm not gonna play him too much in the video. What you think about this, Dan?
Seems like he's throwing like a lot of different labels. Like he's talking about men, women, how like K-pop, there are lots of like girls in other countries who find these K-pop, these like kind of really feminine Korean guys, they find them really attractive. I know in China the K-pop is pretty popular. But he's basically using all that under the label of this video, Passport Bros. Like, you know, like, hey, people are going to other countries, or people like dating outside the race. They're finding these people attractive. And he's just throwing all these kind of negative labels in this video for Passport Bros. So I'm not really sure. First of all, I think pretty sure he's a teenager, because like the way he's doing his voice, he's trying to make it sound all low and sexy, like kind of like how a teenager would, whose voice hasn't fully developed yet. This guy, pretty clueless guy. And, if he's happy, like where he's at, he can stay where he's at. If he thinks like going overseas is something bad with it, he can just stay in the States.
Brandon Clark, shout out my man Brandon Clark. He's also a member and one of the admins of the Passportbros Facebook group. Shout out to, he says, why is the narrator's voice so low? He's trying to sound serious, but he sounds ridiculous. He is reaching in his video. Yeah, Brandon, he's all over the place, bro. He's all over the place. Like I said before, they just want to tie everything of dysfunction as far as concerns with travel. They try to tie it to the Passport Bros. It really makes no sense. Day says, BMT just spitting facts. You're the one taking it personal. No, we'll take things personal over here, but what do we have to do with K-pop? What do we have to do with, women going overseas doing their thing in Jamaica? Like the Passport Bros, for the most part, we know there are different forms of guys that claim the Passport Bros. We do understand that. We're not being naive here. We're not saying guys don't go overseas and sometimes have their fun and they don't consider themselves Passport Bros. But you got to look at the whole spectrum of the Passport Bros. You got guys that are looking for genuine relationships and guys that truly are fed up with dating women in the West. It is what it is.
Yeah. On my recent video, I got some commenters who are criticizing me for being overseas for 10 years and not being married and not having any kids. So there definitely seems to be a lot of guys I know, they want to be married, even though like a lot of us, we see so much bad stuff about marriage in the American media. Still a lot of, especially black men, a lot of men want to be married and have a family. So that seems to be the primary goal of a lot of Passport Bros.
Hey, somebody in the chat said, bro was cooking. Don't turn it off. What was he cooking? He definitely wasn't cooking no Passport Bros. I think guys also think, just to your point real quick, bro, I think guys also believe that you're going to go overseas and just kind of be married within like 6 weeks or something. Like you do have guys that look at like they take the vacation and they feel like they know about the culture in the country if they visit maybe 2 weeks out of the year. And because they were either in I call them gringo hunter areas, where they're talking to a chick online that the chick knows he stays in America and she wants money. He thinks that's how the whole country rolls. So people will assume like, man, you've been in DR for 6-7 months, man. You don't have no wife, you don't have no girlfriend, which in some cases I do, but they assume that you're supposed to already be married with 4 or 5 kids already. And they don't even know what everybody's looking for. Because when you live overseas, things take it's different than visiting, of course. You start to learn more about the culture. And in some cases, you start to realize that some of these countries are on a big pivot when it comes to, let's just say, wild women of the night, promiscuous women that do their thing, conservative women over here. There's very little in between, whereas in America, it's a lot of in between on that. Basically, what I'm saying is when you get outside hookup culture, when you're dating in these countries, the women that are qualified for being what you consider to be wifey material, they're looking to get married. They're not looking to just hook up with different guys. And you see what I'm saying? Like they're not giving it up like one would think. But guys think that they're giving it up quickly because of the other side of the spectrum, which is the wild ass women, or the women portraying themselves to be regular when they really pros.
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is that, like, in these countries, a lot of these countries, man, women they don't really necessarily date. They want to get to know who you are as a man and get married. So if you're not ready for that, then you're going to be in that area of messing with loose club women, or you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to be, because you're not ready for that yet. A lot of guys might not be ready for something that serious.
Yeah. Also, there's no rush, right? It's like, they don't really have the stigma of like older men like marrying younger women or dating younger women. So for me, I came to Asia when I was in my 20s, and I'm in my 30s now, and I don't really feel any rush to like hurry up and get married now. Like I don't feel like I'm failing in life because I don't have a wife and kids right now. It's really not my concern right now. Also, you kind of, before you go ahead and get women pregnant, you kind of want to find out how things are going to go in that country, because like having kids in one country could be dramatically different than like having kids in another country. Like having kids in China would be really, really expensive. So like, if I had come over here 10 years ago and just started, got a girl pregnant, that probably would have been a big financial burden that I wasn't ready for.
Facts. That's facts. Let me catch a super chat, my man Kirby Films in the building. Says, what up, BMT? I don't care what they said, never coming back. Passport, bro, till I die. Shout out to my man Kirby P. Films in the building. The 5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. All right. Okay. She says she's a grown woman. Drew says, not everyone has the same dreams moving overseas. A lot of men are just seeking peace in their lives. I will say this, man. Not to get too off the subject, but I had a consultation not too long ago, and it's funny that this guy says this in the comment section, because he was like, "Hey, man, I know about the hot Latinas and everything, but I'm kind of laid back. I'm not really looking for stressing and arguing." And I said, you got to go to either East Africa or Asia for that. You know what I'm saying? And even then, I see Asian women, they still be getting down. Women gonna be women regardless. I don't think it's no escape from the emotions of a woman, no matter what country you go to. That's why I told him in the consultation. I was like, I don't think there's no real escape from that. But I will say that you can tap into a culture where the women aren't disrespectful to the men. I will say that part. You know what I'm saying? I will say that part, because in America, we already know that. We know women that get disrespectful like in a heartbeat, like no thought whatsoever. But if I had to choose a group or a culture of women that wasn't as, let's say, argumentative, from my personal experience, I haven't really been there. I haven't been to Africa, but I would say that I never really got into an argument with an Asian chick. Like, do you out there in China, do you like get into any like arguments with women, or is it more like not so much? Because I'll tell you right now, in DR, women got attitudes like a mother. They'll cut your ass out in a heartbeat. I've been cussed out a couple times already. Off rip.
The girls who speak English really well, they often adopt a lot of those negative Western traits. So for Asian women, yeah, I mean, if she's like very Westernized, or she dates foreigners, or if she watches Western media, she's more likely to have that kind of attitude. But meanwhile, girls who don't really speak English that well, they're generally a lot nicer. It's really something I noticed. Like, I feel like Western culture, it does kind of corrupt women and make them less good, because a lot of girls I know who speak English, they get that kind of like not nice attitude sometimes. They're more liable to snap or just like be kind of rude.
You know what's funny, man? I realized that, as I'm learning Spanish, I realized like how much, I'm not gonna say baggage, but how much comes with a language. Like, that's such a important part of it. A guy was telling me, he was like, man, you gotta learn Spanish because women will have two different personalities. Like, they have personality for English and a personality for Spanish. You see what I'm saying? And what comes with a woman understanding English is a lot of westernization and modernization. Like, there might not be a song to the equivalent in Spanish of F all these niggas, get the bag, damn these dudes. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no song in what they speak in Kenya. I forgot what they speak in Kenya. Or there might not be a song in Swahili talking about, I don't want no scrubs, nothing like that. But as soon as she learns English, guess what? Because words are spells. Guess what? Now she's rapping about Gorilla and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B. All of a sudden, she understands the words. She's just not listening to the beat.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of even the rudeness that you encounter in the DR is mainly because they equate American culture to New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. And I'd be telling them, I'd be like, yo, nobody likes them states in America. Like, we don't even like people, like the most people we don't like New Yorkers for the most part. We don't like people from we don't like that area. We don't like that region of America because they rude as hell. You know what I'm saying? They think they can buy every goddamn thing. So I think some of that, unfortunately, trickles down to the DR. That little New York hustle mentality of rudeness even trickles down all the way down to here. Because they think that's what we're doing up north. And I'm like, nah, man. That's why Dominicans are moving from up north. They moving to Atlanta and Florida because it's more chill and more laid back.
Yeah. I was thinking about that song, like Hot Girl Summer, and like the lyrics to it. It's just so it's very like, it kind of shows the mentality of like a lot of people dating in America. Like, let's say real ass nigga give a fuck about a bitch, and like real ass bitch don't give a fuck about a nigga. Like, that kind of stuff, that kind of mindset, that people are listening to in America. I just feel like that's kind of programming us to like treat each other like garbage. And, it kind of explains a lot of the nonsense that might be going on in Black American relationships.
That's true. I think when the music changed, I think Black relationships have always been kind of stressed because I always say we kind of live in somewhat subculture that don't really generally work for us. But when that music changed around, like I think about how the women were in the R&B era, when you had, singers like Joe and, you know what I mean? Like Keith Sweat. I just think how the music was back then. Silk, Genuine, how, you and your girl would just sit back and listen to R&B all night. Her vibe was different. Now when I listen to all these dating coaches in America, and I look how you have to play so many games and be so cold-hearted. So like they're really telling you how to master hookup culture. That's what they teach you how to master. Because the games you play with a woman you're just trying to have sex with is not going to really give you a long-lasting relationship. You know what I'm saying? like I hate to say it, but if it's a real relationship with a woman, I hate to say it, but you got to not necessarily be simpish, but you got to be willing to provide for her, and in certain cases, be emotionally available for her. You're not going to be able to avoid your girl having a bad day and coming home and talking about it. You're not going to be able to avoid that in a real relationship. But a day comes to tell her bitch to shut the fuck up, and you don't want to hear that shit. You see what I'm saying? That's what they'll tell you in the dating coaches. Tell her you don't listen to her, and you're stoic, and you're the man. And I'm like, bro, you know, real relationship, dude. Like, you crazy? That's one of the pillars of being in a relationship is having to hear about what your girl been on your girl date, or what's going on in your girl family, or what homegirl pissed her off, or what, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of it. Shout out my man T.
Yeah.
He says, never been in an argument with my Colombian girl. After 2 years, I had a long-term relationship with Japanese, and they argued a lot. It might be boiled down to the individual female too, bro. It might boil down to the, because I'm not saying that you know, Asian women just are not argumentative. I'm not saying that. But I don't know how you have to argue with your girl 2 years in Colombia, bro. That's crazy. You know, them chicks be arguing like a motherfucker. You maybe you don't understand what she's saying. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Women love drama, man. Women need drama. Like, so like here's the thing, like we talk about how dating culture has changed. It's like for a large part, women are in control of the dating culture because they have a big choice about who they're gonna sleep with. If they would sleep with more of like the square guys, like the guys who are like more responsible and guys who are more kind of stable, that would have a big impact on how men behave. But like because they're choosing like the like I was thinking about that, you know, Sierra, right? You know how Sierra and Russell Wilson, people are always like commenting on them, and it's like, okay, Sierra's like the poster girl for that whole like, you know, she wanted to date bad boys and thugs, and then she got pregnant by him, and then she let the kind of simp, the sucker guy, take care of the kids. She's like the poster girl for that kind of behavior. And it's like, you know, that kind of behavior seems pretty common, you know, unfortunately with American black women. Like if they could just kind of not do that, like how about you choose the Russell Wilsons while you're young and hot rather than letting him get the leftovers and take care of, like, you know, your baby daddy's kids, you know?
Yeah. It's unfortunate, man. You know, I was listening to this podcaster. He made a whole lot of sense. I've got to name the podcast. But I had this understanding a long time ago. And I credit Jay-Z for this, man, because when Jay-Z said this particular lyric, it really hit. And it was on the Blueprint album. He said, I was on that song Cry. He said, once a good girl goes bad, she's gone forever, right? And I remember that shit hit me because at the time I was in college and I just saw how the girls just kind of changed. Like they went from being like these innocent homegirl to like being just different. I can't really explain it, but it's different. And what it is I think the more sexual experiences that a woman have, because we look at it in American culture like a woman having sex with 10, 12 guys isn't a lot. But I want you to put 10, 12 guys in the same room. Okay? That's a lot. So she's shared certain experiences with all these men. She's not going to be the same girl she was before she had. And a lot of times in America, we've gotten so used to this hookup culture. Well, oh, we liberal, we don't care about her past. I get it. But once the girl pops that top, man, once she's experienced the pleasure of having different energies inside of her, it's hard for her to just turn that shit off. It's difficult. It's very like she got to have like a spiritual awakening. Like it's gonna be beyond you to try to heal her. She got to try to heal herself because what she went through, generally speaking, was sexual trauma. If not one of those 12 men decided to marry or be with her, that's sexual trauma, bro. She just don't know it. And you got women talking about they've been with 60, 70 guys now. And they in their 20s. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, she ain't no good, bro. But some idiot will sit there and marry her and wonder why it didn't go right. I'm like, it's not gonna go right, bro, because she's past the starting five and you're trying to turn her into something which she cannot be. the flowers are gone. She can't pair bond with you, bro. So it's over with. You basically got a roommate, basically. She's not going to submit to you. She has too many guys she's going to compare you with. It's over with.
Mm. Yeah. And also it makes you wonder, like, okay, if a woman sleeps with that many guys and none of those guys have been able to lock her down into a relationship, or none of those guys wanted to, that might be a sign that there's something wrong with the girl, because generally speaking, most women, or if they're playing it smart, because like, look, I read this book recently called The Value of Others by that guy who runs the Psych Hack channel. And he was talking about how women don't really have a really big period of time to lock down the top quality guy. So if a woman is kind of wasting years of her life just banging different guys, and then when she reaches like the age of 30, she's going to be kind of in desperation mode trying to get wifed up. She kind of threw away some of her prime years playing the field. And like, it's kind of hard to recover from that. Like if you make the mistake too many times, eventually you're just going to run out of time. And the type of guys that you can attract, the type of guys that she's going to attract at 33 probably aren't going to be as good as the guys that she could have got when she was 23. So that's something a lot of women don't know. Like they don't pay attention to that. They aren't able to see it from men's perspective, that men want like young women who are kind of haven't been run through by half the guys in the city.
Yeah, once I realized a long time ago too, just from women, I have to say in my circle, I said, man, y'all don't have no sense of time or accountability. Meaning, like they think they're gonna be 23, 24, 25 forever. But they actually don't even think about 35. Some of them do, some of them get it, but I'm talking about specifically the Black community. A lot of women just, and to their credit, they age well. And our community was raised on simping too. So they can be dating and attract men easily well into their 30s and early 40s to a certain degree, because there's so many simps in our country. And that's what makes them think that they just have forever to pick a mate. Whereas over there in Asia, they have what, leftover women after 25? They call them leftover women?
Yeah. Generally, it seems like once a woman gets near, like I'm very careful these days. Like if I meet a girl who's like over the age of 25, I'm pretty careful. Like I had one girl who was like 24, and I kind of felt like I didn't want to waste her time, because like, I want to make it clear to her, like I'm not going to wife you down. So like, you don't want to waste any time, because like these are like the best years of your life. So like, you kind of want to be clear with girls, guys. Like don't string them along, because like they might not know what's best for them, and you might not know what's best for them. But generally speaking, trying to waste their time and just string them along when you know they're not wifey material for you, that's usually a bad idea. They're probably it's probably going to hurt them in the long run.
Now you said something earlier that was interesting, man. You mentioned that there's not a real age stigma overseas. Do you actually see a lot of older Asian men with younger Asian women out there?
I mean, shoot, like I'm in my early 30s now. Like I'm getting girls who are like way younger than me, like at least what 10 years younger, more. I haven't really, the only time a girl is going to bring up age is if she's looking for a reason to not date you, so she already doesn't like you at that point. So I've had situations where I was like 27, the girl was like maybe 20, and she's trying to say, oh, the age gap is too big, and she was just saying that because she wasn't really interested in me. But I've seen like pretty older men, like, oh, we got like the shopping center right next to my home, so pretty often I see like young girls with older Chinese guys, like late 40s, and he's taking her shopping or whatever. You already know the transaction that's going on. So yeah, so that's how it is.
All right, so I actually wrote an article about this maybe a few weeks ago, and I'm gonna read a little bit of this article. This article was kind of more so set up like a story time article, kind of put the script a little bit just to kind of give you an example of, the things that might be taking place in these foreign countries, right? And this title was our Passport Bros, Modern Day Colonizers. We just did kind of like a scenario. Now we know that this is different than colonization. We understand the definition of colonization is ruling over the local people, extracting the resources, putting your own law and order in, infrastructure in. We get it, so we know what that is. But there's something that's different going on in some of these overseas countries now of the prevalent presence of the passport bros. So we're going to break this article down. We're going to give you a little scenario. So I know you can't see the letters, but you'll be able to see the pictures. All right. So you got Juan here. Now Juan lives in South America. Juan works 2 jobs. All right. He makes about the average Colombian average $300 to $400 per month, like many men in his community. Juan's dream is building a life with a beautiful woman, one of his own, a Latino woman, and have a wife and children. However, his dreams are now overshadowed by the realities of modern dating. Juan's romantic interest, which is named her Maria, my sister's name is Maria, by the way, she laughed at this article, is no longer as focused on the idea of settling down with him. Instead, her attention has shifted to social media, where the allure of a better life catches her eye. Does that sound familiar, guys? That sounds familiar? Women looking at Instagram, Facebook, okay? She learned a little English. Maria just watched as her best friend, who's dating a gringo, receives a monthly allowance of $500 USD. Okay? Now you're gonna say to yourself, what are you talking about? Dudes ain't giving money to women. Yes, they are. I have gentlemen that I know very closely that give their foreign girlfriends so-called allowance. They pay them a salary. They put their women on payroll. Okay, and I understand it to a certain degree. Why would you want your girl to work a job, busting her ass 40, 50 hours a week, 6 days out the week, where she won't have time to see you, when you can cover that cost? So I do understand. All right. This new dynamic where foreign men come to South America and other parts of the world offering wealth and opportunities is increasingly common. All right. These Western men, often from top-tier nations, bring more financial security, higher social status, and access to luxuries that local men simply can't compete with. Okay? Juan's experience in Colombia is not unique. Across South America, Southeast Asia, and other parts of the developing world, the presence of passport bros, Western men seeking relationships abroad, has an impact on local dating markets. Okay, these men are drawn to women in countries where traditional values and gender roles are still largely upheld, and where their economic advantage plays a critical role in the relationship dynamics. Okay, let's continue. Maria's change in behavior, driven by the prospect of more financially stable life with a foreign man, mirrors the experiences of women across the globe. The promise of better opportunities, a more comfortable lifestyle, and access to Western privileges is very tempting, especially for women in countries where the average wage is low and financial stability is hard to come by. Some of you gentlemen have experienced this. When you take a woman, let's say, and I'm not talking about one of them gringo hunters in Medellin. I'm not talking about one of them semi-pros or pros or, guys spend at least a year, trying to figuring this out that his girl is really a pro, okay? I'm talking about, you're meeting a woman, through a friend or whatever, dating app, whatever, how you met her, and you take her to somewhere like McDonald's, and you notice McDonald's is a luxury. Ice cream, taking her to an ice cream shop is a luxury. And in your head, you're thinking in your head, you're like, damn, you would think I took her to a 5-star restaurant. Okay? So for local men like Juan, this shift is devastating. Where there was once a level playing field in terms of dating has transformed as foreign men with more resources entered the market. Right? Local men now find it difficult to compete with the financial and material offerings that Western men provide. So this could be the reason why such an uptick in druggings out there in Colombia and Medellin in particular as well. Right? This creates a shift not only in relationships, but also in the broader local culture, where the dating scene becomes skewed in favor of foreign men. They have entire economies set up around Western men dating local women. Entire economies, right? Hotels. I'm talking about billions of dollars in infrastructure in Southeast Asia. Okay. Centered around this dynamic that I just read. Many argue that the influx of foreign men into these dating markets is contributing to the commodification of relationships, where financial transactions play an outsized role in forming partnerships. The idea of love and companionship becomes secondary to the promise of economic upliftment. Now, is this the cause of concern? The dynamic creates a ripple effect in local cultures as foreign men gain influence in the dating scene. Traditional expectations of marriage, love, and partnerships shift. Right? This dynamic can create resentment among local men who feel that their chances of forming meaningful relationships are diminished. While it's clear that Passport Bros offer women financial opportunities, they may not have otherwise. It's important to consider the long-term cultural effect. As women like Maria look abroad for financial stability, local men are left behind facing the dating market that is no longer focused on mutual love and partnership, but instead on material gain. Right? So, guys, that's pretty much the article right there. What's certain is that the dating landscape is changing, and with it, so are cultural norms and expectations surrounding relationships in countries like Colombia, the Dominican Republic, and Thailand. Whether this shift is for better or for worse, it will continue to be a topic of debate as global relationships evolve in the face of economic inequality. All right. So that's the summary. If you guys can read the whole article, it's on the Passport Bros app. Okay. What's your thoughts? I want to get your thoughts in the comment section as well. What's your thoughts on that article right there?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say, I noticed how the black guy had an afro. I was wondering, like, are afros coming back in style? Like, are we back to wearing afros these days?
Yeah, some guys rock the pros, man. Some guys rock them.
Yeah. Guys are so like you said, guys are putting women on allowance. It's pretty normal. That can affect the economy like it does. Like even like in Thailand, like I know girls who are talking about, hey, my man is in Australia, he's in like wherever, and he sends me money, pays for my housing, et cetera, et cetera. Like these women are living the good life, off another man's dime, and the man doesn't even know like what she's doing when she's like, away from him or when he's away from her. So I think, yeah, in certain situations, like if it happens enough, it can, like all this arbitrage that's going on, like people from richer countries coming to less developed countries, it probably will have an effect on things over time. It's happening in Western countries too. Like I know in Canada, Canada is like being overrun by Chinese people who are like raising the prices, making it unlivable there for people apparently. So it can happen, guys. This is a real phenomenon.
Right. I think it's a globalization going on, not necessarily colonization. It's called globalization. I think that there's going to be a large rise in interracial relationships. I think people are going to start flying more out to these countries. To date, I think men are going to be leaving the West. I think he's going to have men that enter America, but not necessarily because of the dating of America, more for financial aspects of it. I think it's just going to be a large shift. I think men are running away from feminism, westernization to the most part. They want families. I think it's going to be a big brain drain on America for the most part in concerns of the men. It's very dangerous. I'm not sure if Passport Bros is going to lead that way. It looks like they are. But I think the next 10 years is going to be some drastic changes in the dating. I think we really are. Well, I think it's going to be normal to see a black dude with an Asian woman. I think it's going to be normal when you see a white guy with an African woman, something like that. I think this is what's going to happen. I think men are finding out that the relationships in the West are just not a wise investment. And unless they change some laws and some policies, I think it's just going to grow and get bigger and bigger. I think if you want to invest in something right now, find a company that has international dating apps, right? Find a company that does real estate in building infrastructure, expat cities, basically. So a company that invests in, finding land, building a sewage system, building a, fiber internet, building all that. I think Americans are going to just be running from the States, bro. That's my personal spending. So it goes beyond dating, but I think that this whole world is just getting smaller and smaller by the day. You say send you a link. I'll send you a link real quick. I'm just gonna keep this show kind of short, family. All right, but I will drop a link real quick. Okay, we can do another like 10 to 15 minutes. All right. Now, the question is how do local men feel about this? The thing is, in these countries, I do believe that there are, in my opinion, from what I've seen, they're like a surplus of available women. I just say that. And also the fact that, especially brothers, we're looking for different types of women too, for the most part. We're looking for women that might not hold a traditional standard of beauty in Asia, but to us, they're beautiful. Whereas, their men might think the women are overweight. We think they're just fine. Am I correct on that, Danny?
Very, very, especially for the women I'm interested in. I think it's good to like not be attracted to like the local. Well, 'cause I think would be kind of weird, like as a black guy, to have the same taste as like a Chinese man or like an Asian man. Like that would be kind of weird. Like maybe with like Latin America or something, our taste might match theirs more precisely. But I think it would be kind of strange to be like American, and then like say, oh, my taste in women is the same as like a guy in a completely different culture. So yeah.
As I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes I look at those guys and what they're attracted to. I'm like, yo, it look like a little girl, fam. But hey, yo, BMT, I want to go back to something you said. What's up, man? What's going on, man? It's good to see you today.
What's good, Gary?
What's up? I'm dealing with this joint in Puerto Plata. She worked for the city of Puerto Plata. Now, I'm not one of them, cats that be throwing cash at people because A, I'm not cuffing that cloth, and B, I like to think I don't throw bad money out for good. But this joint here, she worked for the city, she building her own house, and we kick it. And I'm a remote worker. I spend about like what? 2.5 to 3 months at a time when I do go down there. So I look at it as an investment, whereas though I ain't got to spend money for Airbnb. If I hook you up and you hook the spot up, boom, I'm staying there.
I've heard that story so many times, bro. I've heard that story so many times. But go ahead. What you saying?
No, but like I was saying, like I'm down there for 3 months at a time. So. Right.
I mean, you know what you're doing, man. I can't speak if you're asking me for advice or something like that. But I've seen that situation for the most part go bad. I will say that.
Okay.
I've seen that situation go bad.
When it went bad, now let me ask you. When it went bad, it usually went bad when you're dealing with a young girl, something like that, correct?
No, not. I'm talking about from witnessing from other people. I'm not saying myself.
Yeah. And but, I'm asking, when you seen it go bad, it's normally with a young girl. Am I assuming wrong?
I don't know. I don't know quite how old the women were. I know dudes would go down to one dude. As a matter of fact, he was on the show. We had a whole hoopla.
Okay.
Out there, this dude was sending the girl money in the barrio. She was in the barrio. He was on. He got mad at me. I tried to help him in the barrio. That was his situation. He was sending the girl money, helping her out with her daughter. He had bought her a TV. He had bought her all this stuff, bought her furniture, bought her daughter all types of stuff. And then
see, Mike, I ain't do all that BMT, man.
But hold on,
I mean,
let me tell you
go ahead.
what happened though. He been sending money. He helped build up her apartment, and when he went to stay, you know, I don't say he was on. I don't know his financial situation because he's the ex-military, so I'm sure he get a check. But she wanted him to still pay the rent, which is like $100 or something like that. And he was like, "No, I've been sending you money.
I've been sending you cash all this time, right? This one,
right?" And that's how you see how that works.
Right.
So you gotta be careful. But let me welcome my man Chaz to the show. What up, Chaz?
Hey, how's everything going?
Hey, what's good? Yeah. You look different with the glasses on, man. I barely recognize you. How's everything going, bro?
Oh yeah, I'm nearsighted, but I don't need it for this. But I was gonna say that article is on point to a certain degree. I just don't think it's as widespread as you might think it is. Because there's a lot of girls that I've been living in Medellin for 8 years, and I know a lot of girls that, at least they say, they've never been to Provenza. They live way up there in the barrios, and they never go to the Gringo land, the Gringo hotspots. And so I don't think the guys in their dating pool see it as an issue.
Hey, Chaz, you are absolutely right, because the two things, the one I was talking to, she's like, A, I can't afford it, and B, it's too far.
Yeah. It's far, it's pricey. I mean, they're not going to go unless somebody invited them.
Right.
And so otherwise, how are they going to meet gringos or these foreigners? They could get on dating apps, but a lot of girls I've spoken to are not on the dating apps either.
Yeah, if you get a girl out there in Medellin that just, pull up in Provenza and just start smacking and eating and drinking without saying like, hey, it's my first time here, you already know what type of time she's been doing.
Yeah.
She's on the apps. She's, it's normal to her.
Yeah. So in summary, I think your article is on point. Just that I don't think it's that widespread. I don't think the majority of the local guys are up in arms.
Right.
Yeah.
But back to Gary, man. So do you expect to have to pay when you live with this woman?
No, brother, because
you're gonna be in for a rude awakening, man.
No, hear me, right? I don't plan to like live there 365 days a year, right? I plan to stay there just like I would stay at any Airbnb. I stay at an Airbnb for 3 months at a time. So I expect to stay with her for 3 months at a time. She said it was cool, and we already talked about this. I will buy food, and due to the fact I do what I do for a living, I would pay your electric because I eat lots and lots of electric. But yeah.
Yeah, be hot as hell out here. You gotta keep that AC on.
And plus too, I'm running a lot of computers, so I need electric, and she know that. So
I want to tell you this, man. Like, this is not like, I'm not saying this is normal, but I've heard this story time and time again.
Yeah.
And I've heard some cases where it went wrong, but maybe it could go right, bro. It all depends on the female that you choose. I'm
gonna keep you posted, man. I'm gonna keep you posted because she lived with her sons, right? She got two. Yo, man, check this out. Homegirl told me she got married at 12, y'all. Yeah.
I don't know about that, bro.
Yeah, man. She said she was married at 12. She had her first child at 13, her second child at 14, her third child at 15, and she's a grandmother at 40.
The situation I saw in Brazil was there was a dude with the same setup, same setup, and but she was a lady of the night, you want to call her. And when dudes came down, she wanted to jet out and do her thing while he was still there. He felt a certain way.
Oh, snap.
So that broke up my whole entire Facebook group, actually. One little female. So I don't know. You just got to validate the woman that you're dating, man. That's all it is. Just validate her. Get around the family, see what the family on.
Well, I tried to do as much due diligence as I can, BMT.
Begging ass families, man. You just be like, nah, I'm good on this.
And like I look at it like this, right? Either A, you know, she's smooth as shit and playing the long game like a mofo, BMT, because she ain't never asked me for nothing, Jason. And anything I did because I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So that, and then B, I did my due diligence to investigate her background, where she worked. She worked for the city. She was easy enough to
Okay,
find.
Gary. Let me just ask you this: what's stopping you from just getting your own Airbnb, brother? Like, do you need?
That's what I want to do.
Do you need an excuse to send her money?
No. But like, I think about it like this: every time I go over there and stay, right, it costs me in the neighborhood of $1,500 to $2,500 to stay for those 3 months. And if I can stay there with her for like what, $400?
Damn, what mic low? I didn't know my mic was low, fellas. Hold on, let me get close to the mic.
There you go.
My bad, family. I don't know, Gary. I just, I've had bad experiences not doing that, but just with women in general, in concerns of like staying places and stuff.
I'm gonna keep you posted. I mean, I'm not going there. I'm not going there destitute. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like I don't work or I'm just going there on a vacation. I'm just working there.
Hey, the chat getting on you, man. They probably that's some bum shit. Don't be cheap, spend that bread. I want to put up a poll on you now, Gary. I have to put up a poll, man. Should Gary send him money and stay with her or get his own Airbnb? Y'all still there?
Are they getting on me? Are they getting on me?
Yeah, you did a poll? Are you doing the poll?
Yeah, let me mute this. Yeah, I'm doing the poll. What you think? What you think, panel? What you think, Danny? Shit.
So based off what I heard, so for me, like this whole situation, so like Gary, like she has her own place and you're paying money, right?
Yeah, like, I'll send her like $80, $150 a month.
And how often do you fly there? You say you stay for like 3 months at a time, right?
Yes. So the last time I was there was in June.
Okay. So you can go like once or twice a year?
Yes. So the next time I'm going back in December, and I'll be staying from December to like February.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad of a price, honestly. If she's like really your type and it's like, I mean, and especially like if you don't have like if you're like hoping that she's being loyal to you this whole time, I think that's kind of maybe not the best thing. But if you're like okay with the fact that she probably has her fun when you're away and you're okay with that, maybe you have your own fun too. I think that's I think that would be a good mindset to have. But yeah, like if she's worth it to you, because guys spend a lot of money on women. Like I'm here in China, like $80, $150. When I was in a relationship, like long-term relationship, I was spending that dang near every week at least, because Chinese girls are freaking expensive. But yeah, man, just if it works for you, it works. And just know if you're okay with the downside, like if you're okay with like the worst case scenario, then like I don't really see a big deal about it.
Like I said, so far it's working out. I'm keeping you posted, BMT. You know this, fam. So
yeah, man. Yeah, I want to see how it turn out, brother. I want to see how it turn out, man. If she's she's older, she got kids, man. Hey, maybe she more settled. Maybe she ain't with all that BS.
She seemed like an adult. I mean, her kids is grown. She work every day. She got a responsible job with the state. I know that don't mean shit here in America because we know how these women act over here. But
man, I don't know, bro. Maybe if it's a house, like a 3-4 bedroom house with a pool or something, I kind of can see it, but
okay,
I don't know. I've seen that go. You're not the first that have done that, bro. I've seen guys do that shit a lot, actually. That happens quite a bit. Someone says it's like a free consultation. Listen, man. You know what? You gotta do what's comfortable for you, brother. Like if you see her being serious in the future, then it's a good time to be testing her out. Testing to see if y'all compatible as far as living. You don't know a person until you live with them, right?
This is true.
So, hey, move forward. I know me personally, I gotta have my own spot, man. I need my space. I need that American standard. I might pay damn near $500 a month more than the average Dominican. I know I do, for a fact I do. Just to make sure that I get power consistently, internet semi-consistently, and lukewarm hot water. And that's what I get for the price I pay, and I pay almost over $1,000 a month. So, hey. Ashel says that the only problem is he can't mess with other chicks there, so it's not worth it. Well, he might not be trying to do that, Ashel.
I'm not really trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go over there for a value and savings.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I was over there, the last time I paid 25% of my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
The only thing BMT is the power. That was the only issue because of what I do for a living. So, a power outage, I was freaking out. But other than that, everything was cool.
Right. Shout out my man, player with a passport in the building. He says, at least Gary is honest. Most cats come on panels and cap just to be a part of the conversation. That's facts. J. Clyde says, values in savings equals being cheap. Man, J. Clyde calling you a cheapskate there.
Okay, well, somebody's discount is another person's cheap.
All right. Shout out to my man Zoo Travels in the building. Says DR infrastructure is shaky at times. Gotta stay in point with a backup. Gotta stay in a spot with a backup generator.
Side note, BMT.
Most definitely.
I bought one.
Travels.
I bought one.
Oh, a backup generator?
Yes.
Yeah. For the life of me, I don't understand why. Like it seems like how the infrastructure is here. I just don't. It's 2024. I don't see why it's the way it is here. But
see,
it is what it is.
I noticed that it's better up in Santo Domingo. Like the larger the cities, the more consistent the power. And maybe they look at Puerto Plata as a retirement town. Right.
You're absolutely right. I'm talking to this girl. She has like a nice ass house. She's about an hour away from Santiago. She got like a 3-4 bedroom house for like $150 a month. But she'd be like, "Hey, I gotta call you because my phone gonna die because we don't got no power right now." I'm like, "Damn, again?"
Yeah.
So that power goes out quite often. But she's out there. I forgot the name of the city she's in. But it's cheap. You can find you a nice little spot, man. But you're gonna have to get a backup generator, and you need to get that Starlink too.
I got one out there in Constant Bar, man. That's where I'm talking about all this going down at.
You got Starlink?
No. You said a place, and I'm about to tell you, my place is in Constant Bar.
Okay.
Plata, Constant Bar.
All right. Shout out to my man Drew with the $5 super chat. Ask Gary how old he is because I see a fool with his money about to soon be parted. God damn. Drew kind of went in on you, brother. You gotta say your age if you want to, bro.
No, man. I'll tell you, man. I'm 55.
Okay.
I'm 55. And for what I do for a living, I calculated this. If I don't use my intellectual abilities, I can work till I'm 75.
Right. Okay. My man Ash L says, "No, I'm good. I stick and move. I have had pies ask me to stay with them, and I decline every time." Yeah, me too. They be wanting you to come over and kick it with them for sure. Zoo Travel said never had an issue in Colombia. Man, please. You got other issues in Colombia you got to worry about.
True that.
What up, Chad? Chad, you still in Colombia?
Yes, still here in Medellin. 8 years and counting.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a business down there, or do you work, or are you a remote worker?
Remote worker.
Okay, like me.
Yep. Bought a place down here so I could get the visa, live by myself. I don't really want to move in with any girls. Yeah.
Chad said, damn all that. Well, Gary on. Damn all
Yeah.
that.
And I don't like sending money either. The first year was kind of a transition year. 2016, I was coming back and forth, and some of the girls I met wanted me to send them money, but I don't like doing that. I mean, I'd like it to be in person. I mean, I'll invite you to dinner, but I don't want to send you money while I'm in the States. So,
you know what? I understand now more living here, Chaz, because I have to go to Western Union sometimes, and I see women, of course, at the Western Union, till they pretty and everything like that, but they're used to dating, like not all of them, but they're used to people sending money down from the States in general.
Yeah,
cousins, brothers, aunties, they're used to just going to Western Union and picking up money. So when they date an American, it's like, well, wait a minute, what am I dating you for?
What's the turnaround? All right, if can I please finish this, BMT? This is what I think it is. Okay, it's cats down here, but you live all the way up there. What's my turnaround for doing that, for waiting for you?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even live that far, and I can stay a lot longer than the average cat. But then, I look at it from her point of view too, yeah.
Right. Exactly. Like living here, I understand it more now, because even let's say let's just use DR as an example.
Mm-hmm.
If a Dominican woman is dating a Dominican guy, but he works in the States, you see what I'm saying? You better believe he's going to be sending her money. Better believe he's going to be sending her money. Like, there's no way they're going to continue a relationship unless he's sending some money. And that's from a Dominican man. So when they date Americans, I get it. It all depends on the female, though. If you're dating, nobody wants to send women that's going to be with other men money. Right. The difference between the Dominican guy sending money and the Colombian guy sending money is he's more assured that she's not doing anything because he knows her. And he knows she's not a promiscuous woman, basically. He knows she's not in the street because he understands the culture. He probably been dating her since high school, college. He probably been dating her since 10, 15 years.
Exactly.
And he might have 2-3 women like that in the country. So he's sending money to his girl in Puerto Plata. He's sending money to his girl in Santiago. He's sending money to his kids in San Domingo. You see what I'm saying? That's what the Latin men do, basically. So when they dating you as an American, hell yeah, they're going to ask you to spend some money. That's a trade-off. So Chaz, send that money, player.
Or don't.
No, I don't need to send money because I'm here 24/7, 365. So
T-Mac said I'm throwing shade in Colombia. I am not throwing shade in Colombia, brothers. I love Colombia. I just say be careful. That's all I say. Somebody say they are not faithful. Man, who is faithful in 2024?
Thank you.
No, they're not faithful.
You want something faithful, man, get something on 4 legs, man, because nothing on 2 legs is faithful.
It's funny, man, because this dude had texted me. A friend of mine was texting me about this chick that he had saw on Instagram. He's like, yeah, I know this chick. I forgot how he knew her and everything. And he was asking about the Caribbean. He was like, yeah, man, do you know what be going on this island right here? And I'm just like, it'd be a whole lot of stuff going on that particular island. Just the Caribbean in general, behind closed doors, there's a lot going on. So if you see a woman that either lives there or spends a lot of time in the Caribbean, then you got to see exactly what she's got going on. And then a lot of more investigation, I'm looking at her little backlinks and stuff to her little profile. She got her OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
This is America. This is American girl now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, she got her OnlyFans and she I ain't gonna say what island, but she's in the Caribbean with all these other beautiful women. It's like, bro, she's out there. Like she's
she getting them cheap clack.
Yeah, she's doing her thing, basically. This is what we deal with in the modern age, man. And it's really our fault as you know, not all individually our fault, but that OnlyFans thing is fucking ridiculous, man. I still don't understand the popularity, how dudes is making women multi-millionaires, knowing that the women are spending the money on their boyfriends. I just don't understand that. I don't understand that shit to the life of me, bro.
Yo, man. Before that, there's go-go and strip clubs, right? You have people that would go there every day. I mean, you know, that's not my thing, but obviously they made a lot of money doing that. That's just the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought I had the poll up. I don't know what happened to the poll. All right. Well, guys, I want to keep this show a little short, man. Danny, you want to mention your services real quick before we go?
Oh yeah, I mean, for you guys who want to actually get overseas and be living over there rather than needing to like fly back and forth, hit me up. You can download my free Quick Start English teaching guide, and that way, you know, English teaching is the fastest way to get overseas making money. You can teach English online, and you know, for Gary, like South America has lots of options for you. That way, you can actually be located over there. You don't have to do just like yearly trips. So yeah, you know, that way we can avoid a lot of this stuff that you guys are getting caught up in about, you know, yeah, like, you know, maybe
really
not the
don't
best
do
situations.
yearly trips. I do every 3 months.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
I
3
go
months.
every 3 months, I stay for 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, did y'all see that video? That girl, like she, like it took her how many hours to bang like 100 guys or something? Like she did that in like 21 hours or something crazy. Like, you know, so 3 months. You don't know what kind of work could be getting put in. You know, what kind of work could be getting put in. Like, you know, for 3 months. You know.
Damn. Who put in that? Hey, yo, man, she need a salute and a beer, yo.
You know, when once again, when women do things like that, it's kind of out of spite. I can almost guarantee, unless she's like, she does that for a living, unless she's already in that porn, I can guarantee that she broke up with her boyfriend or something like that. It was out of spite. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never understand the logic behind women damaging themselves to get back at people that love them. Ain't that the craziest shit in the world? That's like me getting mad at you know, a woman I dated and like, yo, you want to break up with me? I'm gonna go run out in front of a car. Like, some of their logic is just amazes to me.
But then
man, T Super Chat says DR bros can have the DR and be happy. Us Colombian expats are good. We know it's the risk. I am tipping to stay off of your poles. Shout out my man T Mac, always showing us love, man. I'm gonna see you in Colombia soon, brother. You'll be surprised, man. You know, you'll be surprised. All right, fellas, been a great show. Till next time, we out.
All right, big.
See you.
Salute.
Peace.